One. Good morning, guys. This is a Lost and Found page. I want to thank you for subscribing and watching my videos. I'm going to jump straight into this. So, uh, there was a time in my life where I was on house arrest. I was at my mom's house, and my brother had lived there. I was staying there with my mom. Me and my brother had gotten into a fist fight. They locked me up for assault. I was on house arrest for assault already. I go to the jail. They don't release me because apparently I'm property of the jail because I'm on house arrest through the jail. I do a 90-day sanction. I get kicked back out. My mom doesn't want me at her house, so I show up there. I walk to her house from the jail, and she is furious. She's like, I'm calling the jail. You're going back to jail. So I'm like, Mom, just let me go to rehab. I know I'm not getting high. I have no intentions of getting high. She wasn't trying to hear it. And eventually she gave in and was like, if you go to rehab, a long-term rehab, 6 months or more, I will let you, I won't call the cops and I won't have you sent back to the jail. So I said, okay. She gave me time to set that up. My house arrest agreed. I went to Avenues Recovery by Ocean City, Maryland. I got out there. I started writing a girl. The kid that was in there who liked the girl told on me. I pulled him up, said something slick to him, basically told him keep my name out of his mouth, it's none of his business, and he went straight to the staff. He told the staff I threatened to beat him up. He was afraid for his life. He wasn't coming to groups no more. So the director came to me and he's like, look, unfortunately, we got to kick you out, but I talked to house arrest. You don't got to go to jail. Well, he knew nothing. So what happened was the kid was paying out of pocket, or his family was. So mine was state insurance, and they'd rather had him there, so they kicked me out. I sat there. My family was mad. None of them would come pick me up. They said if I didn't get a ride by 7 o'clock, they were calling the cops. So the staff reached out to my baby mom, asked her to send Cash App to them to help me get a hotel. She thought I was trying to fuck the staff members and called up there and caused a bunch of problems. So one of the staff members was like, look, start walking down the street. I'm not supposed to do this. I'll pick you up. I'll take you to a hotel and, get this figured out. So I'll have to drop you off there. She tells me in her book bag she's got a 12 milligram strip if that will help with anxiety. Of course, I took it. She told me it was her man's. So I get to the hotel. My son's mother was supposed to arrange the hotel, and she did. So I called her, and she went back and forth. Why should she do this? And I got fed up and said, you know what? I'll sleep outside. I walked out across the parking lot. I slept in the field under a spotlight all night. The Suboxone helped me a lot. And I woke up the next morning. I used the hotel phone. I called my grandparents. I said, I will go to the jail. Just pick me up. They picked me up. I still had some of the Suboxone. On the way to the jail, I asked them to stop at my other grandparents. That's where I got scissors. I cut my ankle bracelet off. I threw it, and I said, drop me off at the light rail. I was mad, and I chose this decision because I was doing good and I had good intentions. And I came home for another chance. I had another full chance to change my life, and everybody around me didn't give me that chance. They threw it right in the toilet for me. I was mad. I felt like this always happens to me. And I felt like, I try so hard and I never get credit for it. I was never going to get clean around my family. That was never going to happen. I had to get away from them to get clean. I love them from a distance, but they're very negative, and they have negative impacts in my life. So jumping back to that, I'm out in the city. I'm robbing a lot of people for money because I have no money, with knives, and now I have a lot of people coming after me with guns, and I know it's a matter of time. My buddy Ricky almost got hit because they thought that he was me, except he didn't have face tattoos. It's the only thing that saved him. I called my mom, like, Mom, you got to get me out of here. Let me just cool off for a night. She agreed. Little did I know she was setting me up. I go back to her house. I go swimming. She has a cookout. She says a few things that catch me off guard. I'm like, that doesn't add up. But I was so high at this point, I just didn't really pay attention. I'm in the bathroom on the floor talking to my son's mother. She's acting happy and stuff, so I know something's weird because she's never happy. And next thing I know, knock on the door, 7 cops open the door to my mom's bathroom. She called and had me set up. She was crying. She said it's because she was afraid I was going to get killed. My body was in bad shape. I had holes in my hands, holes in my legs, and you know, I had blood infections, and so they took me right there. I was furious. I told my mom, when I get out, I'm going straight back to the city because I was mad, and you know, it was just a whole thing. Little did I know that's exactly what would have happened, or what did happen when I got out. While I was in there, my son's mother left. She took my kid, and you know, at the time, I didn't have a lot of self-love or respect for myself. That's why I expressed that it's very important. I came home and I felt like I had nothing in life. I went back to the streets even harder than that time, and that's what got me clean. That's what brought me to my knees. So, you know, all these situations happen for a reason. Unfortunately, sometimes they happen in, you know, a negative way that is hard for us to get through and that we'll never forget, and involves our family and betrayal. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that it helps somebody. Please subscribe, please like, please share. Please help me get this out there. We're going to do another drop tomorrow. I'm going to make a video about that and post it. Thank you guys for everything.